Your boy G, another Road to Freedom, my story. I don't know if I already filmed this or not, so I'm just going to keep talking. I'm going to tell you about probably the most important Road to Freedom story I'm ever going to post. And this one is about kind of the turning point, the culmination of why I ride. So, growing up, I'm a foster child. And they have that kind of deal in a lot of different countries. So most people, watching this should, you're from another state in the United States. You should get this. You're from overseas. You probably should get this. I don't live with my parents. I live with a family that's been willing to take care of me. And my foster father, I consider my father. So I'm just going to refer to him as Dad. So Dad comes home, and I'm like getting ready to go through my rite of passage time, which is a couple things: going to the prom. Back then there was only senior prom. Getting your first vehicle. For a guy, you're earning the money to get that first vehicle because all the people I knew were from blue-collar families, and it was about work value and earn for yourself. And you kind of instinctively were like, I'm going to earn for myself my first vehicle. And I'm going to spend money fixing it up. And you would buy some cheap car that you thought was hot, Chevy Nova or something. And you'd put maybe you bought it for $3,000 used, and you put $3,000 into it, and for $6,000 you had this like super hot car. Mostly the work that you would have been doing would have been to the engine. You're just basically creating a hot rod. And which way do I want to go here today? So I am waiting for my opportunity. My friends have their vehicles. They're living the dream. It's my turn. My dad just comes home out of nowhere with from the truck yard with this late 70s Honda, the big long seat on it, and he puts a chain around it and straps it to the fence and says, "You don't touch that till you get your license and you have it insured, and then you can have it. It's yours." Now, this is like, I don't even know why this is happening to me. I mean, I wasn't allowed to use the lawnmower to mow the neighbor's lawn for $20 unless I cut our lawn first. So I'm like, my dad is just giving me something. This is amazing. So I'm going to actually follow the rules. And then some mess goes on where, due to some legal technicalities, I'm not allowed to have my license as long as I'm in foster care. Now, what that means basically is my entire senior year of high school and half my junior year of high school, I'm not going to be allowed to participate in a rite of passage that all the other boys that I respect are participating in. I'm not going to be able to earn my first car because what's the point in driving it? I can't drive. My first car is going to be this cool Honda motorcycle. None of my friends are going to be doing that as their first vehicle, except for I'm not allowed to drive mine. Why earn money? I'm not going to be allowed to use it. I'm going to miss showing up at school. Look what I got. You want to ride? And everyone else is going to get that experience except me. And that's exactly how it goes down. I'm hitching rides with other people to school. We drove ourselves to school our last 2 years of school, basically. We didn't take the bus. So I did what any other kid would do in my position. I said, I'm not going to miss out on this. I'm going to do it anyway. And I take my buddy home from work one night, late at night, like 11:30 at night. We're leaving this fast food joint we just closed up. And I take him, basically I'm supposed to take him home. But on the way home, I get stopped by a police officer. I try to ditch the officer by pulling into the woods, because around these parts, if you look around, basically if you find the wood line, you can go through and a car can't. But my buddy flops off the back because I hit this bump. And I'm like, I'm doomed. There's no point in running now because he's going to tell them everything. They'll just, they're going to be at my house when I get back. So I stop. And then it all just goes to pot from there. Because, maybe I had a chance with this scenario of it working out, but my buddy, I don't know, to this day, I don't know why, he decides he's going to tell the cop off. So he starts cursing out the police officer. Now, the police officer is just dealing with two punk teenage kids. So he's not particularly, like, you know, frightened of the scenario. And he kind of just behaved like a father would. So he's like, okay, you know, keep talking. And every time my buddy yaps another few sentences of foul language, he just writes another ticket. So, you know, I got the whole gamut. No license, no insurance, no registration, no helmets, you know, running a light, illegal turn, evading police, whatever the guy could come up with. Honestly, don't even remember. I don't know if I even read all the tickets even when it happened. But there was like 8 of them. It was like some kind of world record for a dumb teenager in South Jersey. I mean, at least I was kind of proud of that. And I was never allowed to drive. All my summer money went to paying my fines. I went in the service, served, you know, in the Gulf War. Had a license all over the world at that point. Germany, Washington, New Mexico, California. I had a license in the military to drive, you know, 10-ton vehicles and just all kinds of. I had license and had been driving all over the world. I get back to New Jersey, you know, so it's 5 years later. There's this thing called insurance surcharges. I never paid them, didn't even know they exist. Nobody told me about it. Now I owe New Jersey like 10 grand. So I basically wasn't allowed to drive for like 7 years or something, because who can afford to give the DMV 10 grand? And so then they just keep tacking interest to it. And, you know, eventually I did actually pay it, which is crazy to think. But at some point you start being an adult and just like, I gotta suck it up. And that's kind of why I ride in a nutshell. I ride because I never got my chance to. I never got my chance to say to my peers, yo, check me out, I'm doing it too. Look what I'm doing. What do you think of this? I'm thinking I might spend, you know, $25 and get this breather kit and put it on. Would you be willing to help me? I don't have enough tools. My dad says I can't use his tools, or whatever. So I'm wondering, like, who, you know, if other people, you know, my age bracket kind of lost a rite of passage that was significant to them, and how you reacted to it. Like, you never got to go to your prom. Why? What went down? How did it affect you? What did you do about it? For me, what I did about it was what I thought was the norm, was like, you're not going to tell me what to do. I'm going to still ride. So instead of, you know, having one motorcycle that I rode, got bored of, became an adult, got a car, I now have 2 of them, and things go well, you know, maybe I'll have a third, you know, and I have a Jeep, and I had a Corvette. So it kind of like affected me long term. Like, it just was like, you're not going to tell me what to do. I will have a cool vehicle that says this is me. And maybe I'm old enough now that I'm starting to not care, but I cared a lot when I was, you know, a lot younger. Let me know what you think, guys. Hit me up, like, share, and subscribe. Your boy G, and I'm out. Peace.